Every legendary band has a frontman who takes the spotlight.
Here comes the sun. Here comes the
But sometimes the most talented musician is standing just behind them, watching someone else collect the glory. Here are 10 backup musicians who were actually better than the frontman. Number 10, Jimi Hendrix. Before becoming the greatest guitarist in rock history, he was getting let go from backup bands. In 1965, Little Richard's tour manager dismissed him for persistent lateness and upstaging the headliner with his flashy playing and outrageous stage moves. The Isley Brothers found him restless too, though they actually encouraged his showmanship because it drew bigger crowds. Hendrix eventually left them on his own terms, tired of playing the same set every night. Within 2 years, everything changed. The 1967 Monterey Pop Festival transformed the former sideman into rock's most electrifying performer. His debut album, Are You Experienced, reached number 5 in the US and number 2 in the UK. By 1969, he commanded the highest performance fee of any rock musician in the world. The sideman who kept getting shown the door became the standard against which every guitarist is measured. Little Richard spoke about Hendrix with regret in later interviews. Number 9, the Funk Brothers. Over 50 number 1 hits, more chart toppers than the Beatles, Elvis Presley, the Rolling Stones, and the Beach Boys combined. Yet for decades, almost nobody knew their names.
Listen, baby, ain't no mountain high, ain't no valley low, ain't no
The Funk Brothers were Motown's secret weapon, the house band who created the actual sound of the label, while artists like the Supremes, the Temptations, and Marvin Gaye received all the credit and all the fame.
and about to give up because the best just ain't good enough. And you feel
James Jamerson's bass lines defined an entire era of American music. Benny Benjamin's drumming gave soul music its heartbeat. From 1959 to 1972, they played on virtually every major Motown release. Yet their names almost never appeared on album covers.
I set you free. You told me you can always count on me, darling. That day.
The 2002 documentary Standing in the Shadows of Motown finally revealed the truth to mainstream audiences. The musicians who built Motown's empire from Studio A in Detroit deserved their names in lights from the very beginning.
If you ever need a helping hand, I'll be there on the door just as fast as I can.
Number 8, George Harrison.
I don't know why nobody told you.
Frank Sinatra called it the greatest love song of the past 50 years. The song was Something, and its writer was the Beatle who spent most of his career standing in the shadow of Lennon and McCartney.
Heavy load, trying to touch and reach you with.
For years, George Harrison was limited to 1 or 2 songs per album, while his legendary bandmates dominated the spotlight with their prolific output. The quiet one waited patiently for his moment. When the Beatles dissolved in 1970, Harrison released All Things Must Pass. The triple album climbed to number 1 in both the US and UK, outselling the solo debuts of both John Lennon and Paul McCartney.
Won't you give me love, give me love, give me peace on earth, give me
Here Comes the Sun became the first Beatles song to surpass 1 billion streams on Spotify. The overlooked backup musician proved he was carrying masterpieces in his back pocket all along.
Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun. I say,
Number 7, John Entwistle.
I have been home since Friday night, and now my wife is coming after me.
Rolling Stone ranked him among the greatest bassists in rock history, placing him at number 3 on their editorial list. Bass Player magazine included him in their top 10 as well. Yet on stage with The Who, John Entwistle stood completely motionless while Roger Daltrey commanded the front of the stage and Pete Townshend windmilled his way into rock legend.
I wish I could stop and start it again.
The man they called the Ox preferred to let his fingers do the talking. His thunderous bass solo on My Generation in 1965 changed what the instrument could do in rock music forever. Townsend himself acknowledged that Entwistle was effectively the band's lead instrument, pushing everyone around him to raise their game.
Give me peace protection, gonna buy a gun to look after number one.
While Daltrey swung microphones and delivered rock god poses, Entwistle quietly revolutionized rock bass. He even wrote fan favorites like Boris the Spider. The most talented musician in The Who was the one standing completely still. Number 6. Charlie Watts. The punch landed in 1984. Mick Jagger, drunk and looking for his drummer, called Charlie Watts' hotel room in Amsterdam and demanded to know where his drummer was. 20 minutes later, Watts appeared in a Savile Row suit, grabbed Jagger by the lapels, hit him, and told him never to call him your drummer again. The jazz-trained drummer never chased fame or adopted rock star excess. He simply showed up for every session and every tour for 58 years. Keith Richards put it plainly when he said Charlie Watts is the Rolling Stones. Without his steady, jazz-inflected groove, the greatest rock band in the world would have had no foundation. The frontman needed him far more than he needed the frontman. Before we continue, which backup musician do you think deserves more recognition? Did you grow up listening to any of these bands without knowing who was really driving the sound? Drop a comment and let us know where you're watching from today. Number 5. Bootsy Collins.
It's like staying up after bedtime when you're still just a kid.
Before he turned 20, he was already revolutionizing funk music. Bootsy Collins joined James Brown's band in March 1970 after most of Brown's previous group quit over a pay dispute. The 18-year-old bassist immediately co-created the bass line for Get Up, I Feel Like Being a Sex Machine. The godfather of soul had finally found the rhythm section that could match his ambitious vision. The teenage bassist delivered grooves that would shape popular music for decades to come. Brown's strict discipline eventually drove Collins away, but Parliament Funkadelic welcomed him with open arms. His thumb-slapping percussive bass style became the blueprint for an entire genre.
Maybe I do miss your kisses, your lips so warm and tight.
Prince copied it. Flea studied it. The Red Hot Chili Peppers built a career on it. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inducted him with Parliament Funkadelic in 1997. The kid who backed James Brown became more influential than most frontmen ever dream of being.
Everything good is nasty, but it ain't no good unless you play.
Number 4. Hal Blaine. The Wrecking Crew operated out of Los Angeles studios throughout the 1960s and 1970s, providing Ike the actual instrumental backing on countless supposed band recordings. At the center sat Hal Blaine, the most recorded drummer in popular music history. 40 number 1 hits, 150 top 10 singles, 6 consecutive Grammy-winning records of the year. The artists took the bows while Blaine packed up his kit and headed to the next session. Be My Baby, Good Vibrations, Bridge Over Troubled Water, Mr. Tambourine Man. These defining songs of their era all featured Blaine's drumming, not the credited bands. The Beach Boys, Simon and Garfunkel, The Byrds, and dozens more relied on his studio expertise. He was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2000, decades after providing the backbeat for an entire generation. Number 3. Carol Kaye. In the 1960s, the Los Angeles session world was dominated entirely by men. Carol Kaye walked in anyway. She became one of the most recorded bassists in history, laying down the low end on an estimated 10,000 sessions while the famous names on album covers took all the credit. playing helped define the California sound. La Bamba. These boots are made for walkin'. Wichita Lineman. The Beat Goes On. These hits and thousands more featured her work for artists like Richie Valens, Nancy Sinatra, Glen Campbell, Sonny and Cher, and the Monkees.
Blue skies, ba-do-ba-dee-ba.
Male session players treated her as an equal because her talent demanded respect. She received the Les Paul Innovation Award at the 2022 NAMM Tech Awards for her extraordinary contributions to recorded music. The woman who played on some of the biggest hits of the decade did it in a room that never expected her to succeed. Number 2. Glen Campbell.
She'll just hear that phone keep on ringing.
Rhinestone Cowboy became a cultural phenomenon in 1975, reaching number 1 on both the pop and country charts simultaneously. But before Glen Campbell became a household name, he was an anonymous session guitarist sitting behind other stars in Los Angeles studios.
Baby, I'ma want you. Baby, I'ma need you.
The Wrecking Crew counted him as one of their elite players. He even toured with the Beach Boys from late 1964 into early 1965 as Brian Wilson's live replacement, playing bass and singing falsetto. His guitar appeared on recordings by Elvis Presley, Frank Sinatra, and Merle Haggard, always uncredited and underpaid.
And nice guys get washed away like the snow and the rain.
Then his solo career exploded. Wichita Lineman, Galveston. By the time I Get to Phoenix, 6 Grammy Awards and 45 million albums sold later, Campbell had far eclipsed many of the artists he once backed in those Los Angeles studios. The Sidemen became the star.
You're the only one I carry love to heard about.
Number 1. Clarence Clemons. Born to Run defined the sound of Bruce Springsteen's career when it released in 1975. But the song's most memorable moment belongs to the saxophone. Clarence Clemons, known as the Big Man, provided the soaring solos that elevated Springsteen's blue-collar poetry into something transcendent. The E Street Band had plenty of talented musicians, but Clemons brought the soul. His saxophone on Jungle Land remains one of the greatest instrumental moments in rock history. The legendary solo required a grueling 16-hour session of playing and replaying every note until perfection was achieved. Springsteen called him his great friend and partner when delivering the eulogy at Clemons' funeral in 2011. Standing beside one of rock's most celebrated frontmen, the big man proved that sometimes the backup musician is the one you remember most.